there's this dude that I like watching, but I don't know his name. Redhead dude. He makes videos where, what were Jews? And, he makes really cool videos, like really good videos, right? And I like the dude. I think, a lot of what he does is good, but what I'm really, really getting sick of seeing so much of is this Jesus delusion. How is this still happening? How are we like, I'm waking up. I'm a truther. I'm I see the lies and I see the manipulation and all that, but then it comes to Jesus and you shut down. I'm just so fucking confused by it. Rathbone, I think his name is, which to me, is he a Jew? He looks like he could be a Jew. I don't know. But I know he's like allowed to have, it's this guy, 88.4 thousand subscribers, 684 videos. And so, like, here we go. I don't even know if this dude's a Christian. He doesn't. I mean, I didn't know he was a Christian, but they're all Christian. Why do all of them say the same thing? Jesus. Netanyahu hates Jesus. Netanyahu hates Jesus.
Protest occupation. Finally, the chickens have denies the infallibility of Jesus. And finally, the chickens have stopped swinging and they're coming home to roost. Quite an interesting contradiction. Here's a quote from Ali Khamenei and a quote from Baal himself. Ali Khamenei says, anyone who denies the infallibility of Jesus Christ and Lady Mary in Islam is not considered to be a Muslim. This is how much we respect Christianity. And on the flip side, you have Satan himself saying, Jesus Christ would have been defeated by Genghis Khan. He basically calls Jesus Christ...
He doesn't.
...a coward. He basically calls Jesus Christ... because he's not...
He doesn't, actually. What he's talking about is kind of like Jesus Christ in the Beatles perspective, where he's like, the Genghis Khan people would have overthrown the Jesus Christ people. That's what Netanyahu's saying. So it's really interesting how all these truthers are running with it and really fucking it up.
I don't think so. And I'm reasonably sure that once you have heard all of the evidence, you won't think so either.
And they all seem to know each other. He seems like another one of those it's a really small club and you ain't in it kind of situations. But I just like, where is everybody on this? Why is everybody so fucking stupid? How is everybody so stupid when it comes to this one fucking thing? Like, I just don't get it. It's not like it works out. It's not like you have all this Christian Jesus, positivity that you can point to and be like, yeah, look, without Jesus, none of this is possible. I know people say that all the time, but that's, it's weird. Like, you don't even realize the arrogance in what you're saying, right? Like, let's say you run faster than everybody else, or you catch the touchdown pass or whatever. You're saying that what happened wasn't like just a human being doing a really good job. You did so well, it has to be supernatural. It has to be that God actually stepped in. And like, that's how fucking arrogant you Christians are, and you don't even realize you're saying this shit. I always think of Diggs after he caught that game-winning touchdown for Minnesota, where the two defenders missed and he just catches it, runs in, time runs out. Oh, and afterward he goes, I don't know how you could, that's God right there. I don't know how you could say that's anything but God right there. Like the arrogance in saying that God picked you. God wanted Minnesota to win and he wanted you to catch the touchdown and fuck everything else. Fuck everybody that's not a Minnesota fan. Fuck everything. It had to be God. And it's that level of just stupidity. Like, it's so strange. Share your journey, ups and downs. My personal life doesn't matter in the scheme of things compared to the delusional aspect of all of you Christians out there and all the pedophilia and all that shit. I mean, a great example of it is the guy, the profile that literally identifies themselves as Jesus Christ, joined 10 years ago, has 3 subscribers and flies the Israel flag. Do you believe we're in a simulation? No. I believe we're in a manufactured reality. But a simulation would suggest that I'm fake, that you're fake. Actually, you could be fake for all I know, but I know I'm not fake. I know I exist. I know I'm here. I'm real. And it's weird how we always are super quick to go to the simulation idea. But, what's a much more likely candidate is that we're just a reality TV show for a much more advanced version of us. The ultimate reality TV show that's manipulated and interfered with and all that shit so they can keep the conflict going. And it's a conflict-based thing because all entertainment is conflict-based, right? All entertainment is conflict-based. Doesn't matter if you're watching Sesame Street and does the round peg fit in the square hole, or you're watching, Criminal Minds or whatever. It's all conflict-based. You exist too. Good. I'm an Hindu. Your personal life can help me through the problems that I'm facing. More than likely. But I wouldn't say, the idea of being something. I'm a guyalist myself. I'm a guyinist. I believe in the unity of the Goyim to overthrow the system that exists so that we can have the truth and we can make life better for everyone. Because even though you're nuts, you're more aware than 99% of the people. Right? What am I nuts about? Let's hear it. I love when people can talk shit, but they can't actually engage. Like, what's crazier? Believing that there is some sky daddy who came down and impregnated a 12, 13-year-old virgin only so it can, grow up 12 years old, disappear, come back at 32, walk around whining and crying and performing miracles that nobody talked about, only to get killed on the cross. What sense does that make? It's such a dumb fake story, right? It's just a dumb fake story. And I like, and it's Jewish. The Bible itself is Jewish. All the main characters are Jewish. All the fairy tales are Jewish. It's full of Jewish lessons and Abraham and all this other shit. Like, it's all just dumb. You think religion is a metaphor. For what? Why? This is what I don't understand. It's an obvious control scheme. Like, you can think it's a metaphor, sure, but it's an obvious control scheme. It's used by people in high places to keep the Goyim fucking stupid and subservient. And that's undeniable. The Bible is basically like a blueprint for today in that you, the Goyim, the Gentile, are supposed to be okay with the idea that everything you have can be taken and given to Jews. The Bible is a bunch of stories where a Jew builds some sort of special God phone out in the middle of the woods where nobody can see them. And then they walk into the town and they go, hey, God said everything from here to there is mine. So I'm going to live in the big house and you guys pay me taxes. And everybody's like, all right, cool. Take from the Goyim, give to the Jew. And that's literally what we live in right now. I don't think it's the Jews, it's Israel. Israel doesn't exist. Israel is a construct. It's a fake, it's a fallacy. It's the cult inside of Israel that is the problem. But the bigger issue is not the genocide. The genocide's a huge issue, but it's not the biggest issue. The biggest issue is how do you create an entire population of off of genocide and attack anyone who says anything, you know? And that's through the ritualistic sexual abuse that's all throughout Israel, all throughout the Jewish culture. It's not twisting of the scripture. It's what the scripture says. The twisting of it is pretending like that's not what it says. But, not only do a huge portion of them practice pedophile practices, all of them not only defend those practices, but attack anyone who speaks out against those practices. And once you cross that line where, you go from like, oh, I didn't know what was going on, to, yeah, I know, and I attacked you for saying it. Like, you're guilty. You're just as guilty. Filtering the truth of reality through digestible stories to comfort, distort, and mislead. I don't even know if it's. I mean, that sort of tries to make it sound like it's more noble than it is, but the Bible doesn't bring anybody comfort. What comfort does the Bible bring you? What are the chances that you're going to go to heaven when you die? According to the Bible, if you actually look at it, I mean, most of you have a tattoo, right? Most of you have your ear pierced. Most of you had sex before you were married, or once you were married, you had sex for reasons other than procreation, correct? Yeah, you're going to hell. It's just, and there's so many other reasons why you're going to hell. So many things you don't even know to repent for. But repenting is another one of those bullshit narratives that doesn't exist in the Bible. It doesn't say as long as you say you're sorry, you knowingly break the rules, and then say you're sorry, it negates that you broke the rules and everything will be good. It never says that anywhere. And as a matter of fact, for centuries, the church would sell what they called indulgences, at least according to the narrative. Where if you knew you were going to sin or you had sinned, you could give the church a bunch of money and that would cover your sin. If all you had to do was repent and all your sins were wiped away, then why would people pay the church for indulgence? Guys, too much faith in humanity. Seems like we're built to be used. Yeah, we are. Sure. But that doesn't mean we can't rise above. It's really simple. We might be designed to do this, that, and the other, but we're better than. We really are better than. And I don't even know, like, what do you think? What do you think? In 5 years, everything will still be the same and everybody will be talking about these same things? Or the toothpaste will go back into the cap and everybody will just be like, oh, yeah, Israel's a good guy. No, the world is forever different. Forever different. Oh, look, Jeff Epstein joined 3 years ago and has no subscribers. I believe in a higher power, but I care about the Bible. Then you're a fucking Christian. It's interesting how they've convinced people that, like they've brainwashed you so much that you don't want to let it go. But saying, I believe in a higher power that connects everybody, it's an energy, connects everybody, it's always there, that's God. You're saying you believe in God, you just don't like the Judeo-Christian bullshit, so you sort of step away. But it's still the same thing. And at the end of the day, you have to reconcile with a belief saying, I believe in a God or a higher power or whatever it is that literally is closer than this to the children being raped by clergy, to the children being raped by religious professionals. The God, the higher power, the thing, whatever you believe in, it watches from as close as you can get, sees the violence, sees the blood, the spitting or the splitting, the everything. Just gross. I don't want to go into details because it's gross. Your God watches all that happen. Your higher power watches all that happen. And you know, does nothing. Does fucking nothing. I'm sorry, I just don't believe in any of that shit. And then I asked the Christian people, like, how can you prove that your God doesn't absolutely hate religion, hate everything that's done in its name, hate, you know, all the organizations, the churches, especially the Jews who use it as some arrogant, chosen bullshit, hate the Muslims from the oppression of women and gays and all, hates all of it. But because of whatever limitations are there, the comic limitations that God always seems to have, he's using me. How do you know? Prove that God isn't using me to overthrow the narrative. God was like, this guy, this happy guy that can write really good songs and has good, I'm going to use him. I like what he does. He's going to be my voice. Prove that God isn't thinking that. Prove that that's not what's happening here. I'll give you $1. Have you ever taken DNT? No, I haven't. Well, I mean, I've taken my share of dextromethorphan, but I've never taken like peyote or anything like.
See, the era that we grew up in, people would go buy packages of Benadryl, take a bunch of Benadryl, and that would be the way that they would do their
Methorphan.
Methorphan. Yeah.
Dextromethorphan.
That shit would fuck you up.
You couldn't just order it online.
No, it was.
And
no, this was before that time. That was our heyday. Sorry. LSD.
Benadryl was gross.
Mushrooms, mescaline. That was.
We didn't do that. We used quercetin. And quercetin had the high blood pressure ones. And those had like
Yucky.
20 milligrams of dextromethorphan as opposed to 15 or 18 like the regular ones. So we'd be oh man, we were so stupid. I hate having kids, I can tell you that.
Yeah, because now it's way past all that shit.
Look, fat ass disgusting pedophile Kristen Mayfield is here supporting her favorite pedophile. How many pedophile Trump supporters do we have on here? I mean, it's pretty obvious. If you support Trump, you're a pedophile, right? I mean, seriously, who else supports pedophiles? How many people?
Can I try this?
No. Yeah, I guess. How many people would hear?
Easy. Trust me.
I think you really actually. I can make it at home. I don't know if it's close. I don't know. Just drink a lot of tea weeks before. Yeah, dude, I'm way too old. At 47 and with children. Children has, you know, psychedelics while having children sounds like a bad time to me. This sounds like a pizza when you're supposed to french fry. Mm-hmm. Like, I would just, the overwhelming nature of it all. I don't know. I just had a bad experience eating gummies not too long ago over the last summer. So I know I couldn't handle psychedelics. I wouldn't want to. the thing about it is, like, there's so many things where you got to be fucked up to find that answer, that connection, and I don't want that. I don't want to have to something that's false, that could be false, that could be implanted, that could be whatever. I look at all of this financially. I'm in a really great place. A good portion of you, either you've been here or, I mean, even my wife, like, again, I don't mean to, like, throw her under the bus or anything. It's just an example. But even my wife resisted what I was saying for so many years because what I was saying was so extreme. You're saying that we should get rid of this whole cult, and I just don't think that's the answer. And it's like, okay, I get that that's what you think. But just wait, you'll see. Just give it time. The more you see, the more you see. And I'll go, what's going on? Something Matt said that for me really hit the nail on the head. And it was that he said, in the last year and something that he's been here, he's more confident than he's ever been in his life. And one, it's nice knowing that there's somebody else out there that's like you, that thinks like you and sees like you. But said, I've learned a lot from this channel. And I don't think I'm some teacher. I think I'm on a journey. And as I'm on the journey, I bring you guys with me. As, there's so many things that I learned for the first time as you guys do, just by reading it. But he said, I walk around with this confidence now. This confidence of knowing I know the truth. And it makes me want to tell everybody. And it makes it so, I'm just like, you can't fuck with me now. If you're gonna, talk your shit or whatever, well, then you're just wrong. You're just not there yet. But getting to this position to where you build up this invincible sort of barrier around yourself. Like, I can take whatever you throw at me. How are you going to argue the things I'm saying? When you get to that point where you know that, I mean, the way I have it all set up, if you argue against me, boy, you're going to look like a real piece of shit.
Missile fire in New York City?
Mm-hmm. Trump is what's weird is, like, I guess he just doesn't care, or I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around what that person that's lived an exceptionally privileged life, and then the power and the like one of Trump's most boring weekends would be the most amazing vacation you've ever been on. If for us to try to wrap our head, for us to try to understand what he thinks is sort of impossible. But you'd have to think, like, doesn't he know he's being used? Doesn't he understand that like, he's going to be thrown under the bus when the time comes? And
no, I think that he really thinks above all of it. He's not going to be, he's like a Rockefeller or a Rothschild. That's how he thinks of himself. He's untouchable.
Mm.
And really, if you think about it, everything that he is all the destruction, his entire life, he's always come out unscathed.
For sure,
So
but
of
that's
course
because
he
the
thinks
narrative
that
was
way.
a certain way. You know, I mean,
And he's stupid enough to be completely manipulated.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, yeah. I don't know. He has to know what's happening. They're gonna kill him if they need to. They're gonna. You know, he's not one of them. He can have
His daughter
converted.
married one though, so he's good.
He can convert all he wants, daughter, whatever. But he's not one of them.
Just like he's, deporting people that talk like his wife, but she's fine. You know, he's fucking fucked in the head.
Yeah, but how much
really
of it
think he's
is him?
delusional, sweetheart.
How much of it is actually him? He doesn't have any power. You know, he's an idiot, and they know he's an idiot.
He is a despicable human being.
Yeah, for sure.
Despicable enough to make the calls that they wanted him to make that nobody else was despicable enough to agree to make.
Exactly, and he says that, you know. He likes to brag about how, you know, he was the one that did what nobody else will do and brought the capital of Israel to Jerusalem and, you know, lots of shit. And yeah, he did. I don't know, man. I feel like so much of that, like, it's at the end of the day, it's a distraction. It's just the things we need to be focused on are your silly ass belief in Jesus and the belief that you're not allowed to actually call out the problem. You know, until we start really addressing those things, like, it's really shocking. This is one of those things where I want you guys to start doing it. I can't do anything about it. But all of the people that you guys watch, all of the truthers, the Stu Peters, I'll go, the Flynn and Quinn guy. Ask them all why they stop being a truther when it comes to Jesus. I haven't seen Dan Blazarian in a long time. What happened to Dan Blazarian?
Trump is trying to hijack the upcoming midterm election with this Save America Act, which will make voting so difficult many people won't bother to do it. Exactly what he wants.
But, I mean, for decades now, I can't say decade, for a long time now, when you ask me what my solutions are, you don't like them. But, you know, something like voting. If 90% of the expected turnout didn't turn out, and everybody just said, fuck that, we're not going to play along anymore, that would do a lot more than people think it would.
We have to pay Iran $14 billion in order to get more oil flowing and try to slow down the skyrocketing price of crude.
Why?
We have granting sanctions relief to Iran oil already pumping and being transported at sea. Relief that is worth a stunning $14 billion. But another way, Trump is paying Iran to fight the war that he started against it.
Yeah, but why are we even bothering? Trump has said numerous times we have enough oil reserves to last the next 20 years.
He is such...
What happened to all of our fucking oil reserves? And sports, I believe sports is rigged. To certain levels. I think a lot of the sports are rigged videos are just more distraction. Because whether you're distracted by the sports themselves or by trying to debunk them, you're still distracted by sports. Blows my mind when the throw out truth bullets and then throw Jesus in the mix. Yeah, it's crazy. But like I just showed you guys, that Rathbone guy, he makes great videos. He's all about, like, he's smart, he's well read, you know, he watches a lot, he probably has some sort of degree in something or other, I don't know. But there's this narrative going around. What's up, dude? And even Algo brought it up earlier about, did you hear how Netanyahu made fun of Jesus? But he didn't. He said that Jesus would lose to Genghis Khan, in that the power and the loyalty to Genghis Khan was much stronger than the Christians have. That's pretty much what he was saying. Body is feeling sleep deprived during the work week. Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm sure you're not sleeping great when you do sleep. I mean, think about, like, there's something that you figure out when you take acid, right? And that's that everybody and everything is connected, right? You sort of get that sort of feeling. It's been documented many, many times by many, different sources when it comes to the LSD and we get that feeling that we're all connected and we all work together and we're like an ecosystem that's all connected. So when you start thinking about that there are starving children, that there are children being starved, that there is genocide happening, there are people literally dying every second that we're talking, and not natural cause death, but Israeli brought death, whether it's Gaza, Iran, Lebanon. They're attacking the fuck out of Lebanon, but nobody's talking about it. Did you see the picture in the one interview where Netanyahu had 6 fingers in his right hand? Hey, I mean, it's just like, you can't just explain that as some sort of glitch. You guys have been watching me for a long time. Have you ever seen 2 fingers? Has my video ever looked like it might be AI? All of these Netanyahu videos are just dumb, insulting. He's at the coffee shop. Really? One of your highest ranking guys, Itmar Ben-Gvir, hasn't been seen in like 2 weeks. The fuck are you doing? What do you... Khan was rock, Jesus was paper, paper beats rock. I mean, it's... You know what the fucked up part is? It doesn't matter who the Christian is. If you go, okay, listen, I am willing to accept that you might be correct, okay? Jesus might be the answer, might be the way, might be whatever. What are you basing that on? So that I can go, okay, let's turn that corner. Okay, you present me with what you know so that I can make that same assessment. Oh, just send it to you. Yeah, no, I saw it in the coffee shop one. I saw that, and then there's the one after that where he's doing there's the one with Mike Huckabee where his ear at one point it's fucked up. It's just fucked up. His hairline changes dramatically. And then there's the one where it's like he gives this 20-second long, we're in Israel and the celebration of light in Iran, and just know that we'll be watching from above. And, you can see that the paneling is different. The vent structure is different. The people in the room are acting as though he's not in there. It's something else is going on. What are you doing? Look at these dumbass comments. You just get these weird things where you just, we know Joe's a pedophile, right? We know it without a shadow of a doubt. He's all but admitted it. And this is a guy who could be the voice. He could be the leader. He could be the guy that says, you're right. We need to start protecting the Jewish children. Protecting them from what I went through is more important than keeping tradition. Tradition. But they never say that shit, do they? Iran took out an F-35 jet. Something nobody else in the history of war has been able to do. F-35s are super badass. And Iran took that shit out like it was nothing. Makes you wonder what the real numbers are. Makes you wonder what all of it really looks like. You know? And being shown without a doubt is a manipulation. Let's say Jesus wasn't real, but the teachings are pretty good. I'm not a Christian. What teachings are pretty good? What are you talking about? And let's okay. So are you saying like thou shalt not kill? That's a good thing, yeah, I guess. But what about if that person that you should be killed is a rapist, is a pedophile, is a monster? What it's not okay to kill them. It's okay to lock them up in an inhumane prison system for the rest of their life that we all have to pay for. That makes more sense. Manipulation. That's Old Testament. What's Old Testament? Which part? And who cares whether it's older? Like, again, why would you believe in New Testament? What happened? God fucked up? Jesus is a New Testament. Right. A descendant of the Davidic line prophesied in the Old Testament. It's all stupid. It's all Jewish fairy tale. It doesn't fucking matter. And the thing is, like, you always get into this with these Christians where it's like, I'm not even interested in it. If you can show me some modern day proof that this shit exists, that doesn't require faith in some couple 1,000-year-old story, then I'm okay. I'll check it out. But you can't even get a Christian to answer a simple question as to why they pick the one they pick, or a Muslim. There's all different sects of Islam. There's all different sects of Christianity. You pick the one you pick, and then you think everyone else is wrong. What makes that happen? Thomas Jefferson's moral Bible. No, of it. I don't believe in Thomas Jefferson. If you deny the Old Testament, you must deny the whole Bible. I mean, if you deny, again, Exodus, without Exodus, there's nothing. Without Exodus, the entire Bible is bullshit. There is no Bible. There is no temple there is no Moses. There's no Mount Sinai, 10 Commandments, and then goes into, there's none of that shit. And Exodus is the dumbest story you can imagine. It's like you think, like, did they really expect everyone to be stupid enough to believe that shit forever? Did they really have no concept of a Goyim that actually look? I've been thinking, I think the reason I would bet, I would get hostile with you before waking up was because of the subconscious Christian ideology ruling my emotions. I'm glad I shook it off. Yeah, me too, but it's not just that, right? Greetings to Switzerland. What's going on? I'm going to write my own book of bullshit that everyone can live their life by. Good luck. But yeah, part of it was Christian shit, but another part is like it's like a mix of Christian, American, Goyim. You know, it's Hollywoodism. Hollywoodism has taught us to attack when you're not like I was watching I was watching this shoot interview with the Undertaker today, and that's fucking stupid, right? But the Undertaker's talking about how the first time he get James, what's going on? The first time that he gave someone a tombstone pile driver was Coco Beware. And when he did a really sloppy job, and he actually hurt Coco kind of bad. He fucked up his neck. And he said when they went in the back, Coco was like pissed. Man, you fucked up my neck, man. You guys supposed to take care. And he's like, man, and I really pride myself on taking care of everybody. I never hurt anybody, and I apologize, and I apologize, and I apologize. And at some point, I was like, look, I've apologized all that I can. And if you're not willing to accept my apology, we can go out in the backyard. We can go out in the back lot. Wait, if I don't accept your apology, we can fight? Is that what you're saying? Are you fucking stupid? But that's the American, not just a Western way of doing it. You know, lots of Europeans, you know, they like to point out how ridiculous we are as Americans, but then not realize that they're doing the same thing. But oh, you Americans, you all think like that. You're not like us Brits, and we're all so hoity-toity. All it's like, it's all just stupid, right? Forget the fairy tale shit. Focus on the morals. Why? Why? Do you really need a book to tell you how to be moral? Do you need some book that you have to ignore a whole bunch of shit so that you can be like, well, it's got some good morals in it. Definitely don't want to be coveting thy neighbor's goods. You know, you go to your neighbor's house and be like, oh, wow, that's a nice TV. We were looking for a new TV. That looks like we should maybe look into getting that TV, sweetheart. Oh, shit. That's a sin. Coveting thy neighbor's goods. Like, it's fucking nuts. I mean, we got somebody from Australia here. At what point do Australians question their narrative? Was it like 278 years ago or something like that? I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's right around 270, 280 years ago. We're supposed to believe that the royalty, the European royalty, somehow, they knew about Australia, but they decided to send all of their Irish prisoners to Australia. That is a better option than just killing them. Instead, you have to put together a bunch of different boats. You have to sail this incredible distance. You know, and then and when you read about it, I haven't read it in a while, so I forgot. But you know, there's like certain boats are segregated, and then they get there, and then the place they get to, well, they don't quite like it, so they sail to the next, like a mile down, and now they like that, and the whole narrative is just bullshit. It really is a manufactured bunch of bullshit. How do you drop off a bunch of prisoners onto a place where there's savage aboriginals and, you know, today they're a modern fucking powerhouse? How did they progress along with the rest of the world if they were just a forgotten prison colony bullshit. You know, it's all just bullshit, right? It's all just bullshit. The idea that the Australians would have any association with European royalty, it's Queensland. Why? Why wouldn't they? Why would they ever associate like that? Well, you know, they're like 2 months away. So if we piss them off 2 months later, they're going to still here and kick our ass, maybe. What are you talking about? Boo. Boo. Jews aren't very smart. Caron's going on. It's all just Jewish fairy tale. It's all just bullshit. It's all myth. It's all chat GPT style, you know, trickery. I think the Pentagon is such a important piece of this puzzle because it extends the illusion, right? Because the illusion is that Ham. A lot of the Irish were sent to USA. Yeah. So we're told, man. There sure is a lot of bullshit. It just really comes down to your perception. I mean, what are the oldest buildings in Australia? Of course, they're going to be fucking the same style palaces that exist all over the world and, you know, the 1800s. It's all just bullshit. And until we unify and overthrow the friars that control the narrative, we're all just victims to it. We got green beer on St. Patrick's Day. Right, such an insulting thing. The Irish holiday that everybody celebrates is one dedicated to getting as smashed as you can get and acting like a total dumbass, and the next day being like, oh, well, it was Irish and St. Patrick's Day. And if I was Irish, I would be so fucking mad about that. One holiday and it's buffoonery. Go fuck yourself. They put all the bullshit in your face and nobody sees it. Well, not nobody. They're so smart, they rule the world. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has to do with manipulation and ruthlessness. They're the type of people that hurt children. And when you're willing to hurt children, that's a step that the rest of us aren't willing to do. If you hate your neighbor, you know, you have beef and all that, but you come home one day and there's no lights on in the house, it's raining outside like crazy, and the kid is sitting there on the front porch crying, or you see him banging or just crying, he's giving up, he's just sitting there in the rain, shivering and shit. Do you go, oh, well, I hate his dad, so I'm not going to offer help? Or do you offer to help the kid? Hey, man, you need to call somebody. You know? At Goyim, that's what we do. We help each other. We see each other as people, and we definitely don't believe in raping children for transcendence and redemption purposes. So when you're talking about a people that's capable of raping their own children, then to say, well, in order to win, these are the people that will poison a drinking water system. Doesn't matter if it's soldiers or civilians alike. They'll just do it. They don't give a fuck. You know? These are the people that are stealing children and bleeding them dry. These are the people that are violating every fucking war code possible, using weapons that aren't supposed to be used, white phosphorus and shit like that. That's what makes them in the spots that they're in. And then the blackmail and the shit like that. Like, it's cunning. It's ruthlessness, but it's not intelligence. It's, it's a playbook they were given. And the problem is, we are evolving past their playbook and they don't know how to adjust it. Right? I mean, at the end of the day, all you have is these crybabies like Joey who go, "Oh, you're lying." Really? What am I lying about? What part am I lying about? You saying metzitzia is not a thing, huh? You're saying soul correction that happens every 2 weeks is not a thing, huh? Interesting how that's your go-to each time. Like I'm making up the stuff that I read. Like I wrote Bottom of Darkness. Israel Hayom's Bottom of Darkness. And this is what they do, man. Not all Jews agree with Israel. Sure, especially now that it's not a popular thing to do and they might be smart enough to see, oh shit, maybe we shouldn't. But they agree with metzitzia. They agree with soul correction. And if they don't practice it, they not only defend it, they attack people that try to do something about it.
Don't eat that.
So it's you can't say, oh, not all of them this or that. Yeah, they all do. They all partake in one way or another. Obviously the person doing it's worse, but how much worse is the person that's, you got a neighbor across the street that is consistently raping children, but you don't call the police, you do nothing about it. How much better are you than the guy doing it? And it's funny how, again, the sort of knee-jerk response is to be like, well, not all Jews do it. It's not happening as much as you think it is. And they never go, wow, that's fucking atrocious. We need to do something about it. The people that don't, they're just as guilty. They never say anything like that. They just try to play it off like, yeah, it's not that bad. Only 11 kids out of the thousands and thousands that we do it to get herpes, so. And only a couple of those kids die, so what's the big deal? Millions of kids get the fucking metzitzia. They don't get herpes, they don't die. Yep.
Island Boys
Einstein, dude. What's bullshit? Huh?
Island Boys rapper arrested again after fentanyl found during traffic stop in Florida.
Yeah, I mean that kid. If he is really an Epstein Island boy, if that's really where that whole thing goes, and he's all but acknowledged it, sure he has to, he wants to feel good. Tell me what part's reportable. I don't care what you say. Tell me what part's wrong. And here he was following me on social media. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you start showing up on my feed. You've never seen anything like it, and I'm sorry, but that's also your clue that you're onto something real for a change. I'm just some regular dumbass. 7 viewers and 6 likes. Why would engaging with me be any, worse than you watching Alex Jones or some shit like that? I'm not talking about you. I know you're not talking about me. Why do they do what they... Why do they do that metzitzia thing? The little boys anyway. What's that all about? It's part of their ritual. Their Brit Milah ritual, which is... So no other... It's called a mitzvah. Like in their world, a mitzvah is the... You know, it's like a commandment. It's like the... You know, it's a mitzvah. It's the thing that you're supposed to do. And in their cult, no other mitzvah is higher than circumcision. And circumcision is as high as any other mitzvah. So it's one of the most important rituals in their shit. And the ritual has 4 parts. One of those parts is metzitzia. You'd have to be a fucking fool to think that they take all of the ritual and everything so super seriously, but they just leave out one little bit because the Goyim think it's wrong. No, they just stop telling you about it. Here we go. Here comes Joe's dumbass again. Guy thinks he knows things but doesn't understand the bigger picture for sure. Right. So explain it, you fucking coward. Again, but look at what he says, right? He doesn't say, guy's right, that shit is nasty. Us Jews need to get together and do something about it. Not only is it nasty, but it makes us look really bad. He doesn't say anything like that. He says, oh, well, you just don't understand the bigger picture. Stop. You just don't understand the bigger... You're right, I don't. I would love to hear your explanation as to why the bigger picture makes sense about you raping children and metzitzing and shit. But you cowards never say anything because you know you can't. I'm watching something in the background and dude just mentioned Israel, Hayom, bottom of darkness. What? Hopefully. You know, it's either there's a lot of people out there who are on the same wavelength as I am, just a few weeks or months late, or people are watching my shit and it's getting back to them. Because you know there's not... I mean, I've been talking about it since it came out. April 23rd, 2025. I happened to look up Israel News that day. And I saw that actual report that day. And if I hadn't have seen that report, I would have never known about it because nobody else ever talked about it. But ever since I saw it, I've been like, holy shit. And I've probably read the entire article maybe 10 times now. And I'm telling you, I get the last time thinking like, pointing out the fact that they try to blame it. The things that the supposed good guys say, the people putting out the article who represent the good guy side of things, giving excuses like, oh, well, they make the abuse so bad that the parents don't believe them. Instead of saying, these piece of shit parents don't believe them when their children say something. They're fucked up, especially when it probably happened to them. You know what I mean? Like they word things in a way to still protect things, but they... Because they're stupid, because they're, you know, if you open up the books in Israel, you demonize Israel. Stupid. They just say things without realizing what the fuck they're doing. So why do they circumcise everybody now? Well, we all, to normalize it. If the Jews were the only ones doing circumcision rituals, do you know how fucking crazy that would be? Do you know how much that would stand out? They were the only ones walking around looking all deformed, looking mutilated for the rest of their life. It's genital mutilation. Like, the fact that we're just okay with it is so fucking broken and backwards. Circumcision should not exist anywhere. Other than, you know, severe individual cases where... where it's a necessity for one reason or another. And there are cases like that, but no other situation does mutilating a child make sense. And then you top that off by topping it off, and that just takes it to a whole nother level. He's definitely following you. He's a weird. So suddenly you start talking to me, and now this guy finds you and follows you. That seems pretty suspect, doesn't it? The thing is, so I can answer for why Joe's here or any of these other dumbasses is here. They won't tell you why they're here. They'll say things like, he just doesn't understand the bigger picture. But they won't tell you why they're here. I'll tell you why they're here. Okay? It's a really simple thing. It's not complicated like you might think. It's actually really simple. So you go to the wiki and you put in act.il. Now, in the description of this video, you'll find a link to this page. You'll find a link to a lot of things. One of the things you'll find a link to is Naftali Bennett. I like defeating your arguments before you say them. So people that cry about, oh, you're using wiki. Well, this is Naftali Bennett, future Prime Minister of Israel, today former Prime Minister, high-ranking Israeli, blah, 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 in 2010 talking about Wikipedia. So maybe you might want to pay attention.
In conjunction with My Israel, has arranged instruction day for wiki editors. The goal of the day is to teach people how to edit in Wikipedia, which is the #1 source of information today in the world. As a way of example, if someone searches the Gaza flotilla, we want to be there. We want to be the guys who influence what is written there, how it's written, and to ensure that it's balanced and Zionist in nature.
I came here to...
Okay? So when you cry about me reading Wikipedia, understand Wikipedia isn't the 100% truth. It's the truth that Israel and the Jews want us to know. So, especially when it has something to do with Jewish stuff, you can bet that Israel Israel has its hands all over it. This isn't just some goy slop getting thrown on here without any restrictions. It's hard to argue with a smart person, but impossible to argue with a dumbass. That is true. Joe Star's a fraud, he's a bot, or either a stalker. Something, yeah, it's weird. For sure. I got my side emojis back. Nice. Why is it happening? Roman Catholic and circumcised. Again, you're circumcised because they had to hide it. So, from a religious perspective, circumcision comes from Abraham. God has just done the Noah's flood thing and fucked everything up, and now we're, I would assume, thousands of years later. I mean, I have hundreds of years, I don't know, because Noah had to repopulate everything. Noah and his family had to fucking repopulate the whole world. But Abraham, who is married to his sister Sarah, used to be Abram and Sarai, and he built a God phone that only they can build out in the middle of the woods where nobody else can see him. And God was like, oh, hey, your name is now Abraham, and your wife is now Sarah, and you guys are going to have a kid and call him Ishmael. And Abraham is like, what? I'm like 90. She's like 85. And God's like, don't worry. You're going to have a baby. And then all that land is yours. And so the father and mother of the Jewish people are brother and sister. Just an interesting little side bit. But it's not when you look at at their obsession with incest and virgins and child. It's just, it fits. It's just who they are. this guy doesn't just drink the Kool-Aid, he chugs it. This is what Joe says. This is the best Joe can come up with.
Joe Mama?
Right? Why are these comments talking about me? Are they the voices in your head? Yet no, it's because you're such a dumbass. Everybody else is laughing at you. It's backfiring. This is what persistence is. Persistence, when you're doing the truth, when you're the right one, it's going to work. Truth is attractive. People are attracted to truth. If you're watching, like, share, sub. But act.il, let me explain to you who Joe really is, right? Act.il is a social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online anti-Israel content such as the Boycott, Divestments, and Sanctions Movement, BDS. This is a completely locked up page, just so you might, anybody can edit Wikipedia. No, not this page. Its activities were referred to as, quote, an online propaganda campaign, and, quote, a virtual situation room of pro-Israel experts. Act.il directed its users to, quote, missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided on how to respond, which might entail writing reply using the provided talking points. That's why they never actually say anything good, right? It's why they never attempt to argue about metzitzia or anything like that, because that's not how they've been programmed. They're programmed to say these things. They're programmed to say, oh, you're delusional, you're schizophrenic, you are just talking about this, you don't know what you're talking about. There's a bigger picture and all that shit. This is how they're programmed. They're never told, well, tell them the truth about us. We're a beautiful, good God, God-fearing, loving religion, and just tell them the truth, and that'll bring them into our thing, and no, they're not told that. Just tell them the truth about Israel, and everything will be okay. That's not how it works. You're supposed to attack. You're supposed to flag, report, and then again respond with the program talking points. Oh, here we go again. He's going to bring up some imaginary score that I know nothing about. Yeah, see? I'm just crazy, right? The voice is in my head. I should take my meds. The take your meds weapon is so prominent that South Park actually made an episode where Cupid Yee, a little naked version of Cartman, is the Valentine's Day Cupid. But this Cupid hasn't been taking its medication, so it's now Cupid Yee, and it's got a hat sideways, and it's got a jacket on, and it's flying around telling everybody that Kyle controls Hollywood. It's interesting that they pretend like saying they have all the money, power, and control is some sort of slur, when it's actually a really impressive thing. Good job, such a small portion of the population having all that wealth and power and control. That's an incredible accomplishment, but they don't want you saying that. They try to make it seem, oh, he's crazy for saying that. He's crazy. And the whole episode is them trying to catch Cupid Yee, to get him to take his medication. Because once they finally catch him and they force the little blue pill in his mouth, immediately his exterior evaporates, and he flies around going, tee hee, everybody love, and he's that's it. He's taking his medication. No longer, he knows that Kyle runs Hollywood, but he's just not talking about it. And it's a prime example of literally they put it in a show to like shove it in your face. Take your meds. Take your meds. Take your meds. Take your meds. That's their thing, because they don't have anything else. They don't have a reality to argue. Their whole thing is, damn it, we're special because we say so. We're special. The app also provided users with ready-made memes promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. Now listen, by completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges. Badges are prizes. They're not little patches that they sew on their sash. They're Israel Scouts group, and Oh, look, I got a 400 troll points. Oh, I got my 600 troll point badge. That's not what badges are in this situation. Badges are points. Or, I mean, are prizes. Free trip to Israel, free TV, free car, free whatever. If you get enough points, you can, they have an unlimited checkbook, so they can do whatever the fuck they want. By completing missions, again, users earn points, unlock badges, and have their scores displayed on leaderboards. According to Plus 972, which is Israel's area code, and it's also like a propaganda, government magazine bullshit website. Act.il was the centerpiece of a digital campaign called 4IL, for Israel, announced in 2017 by Gilad Erdan, then the Minister of Strategic Affairs, for the promotion of Israel and the delegitimization of boycott, divestments, and sanctions, BDS. The Act.il app would assign users, quote, missions, to challenge social media posts they considered to be critical of Israel or in favor of the BDS movement. Erdan called it an Iron Dome of Truth. Act.io was a joint project of the private Israeli university IDC Herzliya and the U.S.-based Israeli-American Council. The Maccabee Task Force, one of Sheldon Adelson. He's so connected to so many things. In Israel Hayom, Bottom of Darkness, is Sheldon Adelson. Foundation, one of Sheldon Adelson's foundations, is a major funder of Act.io. The organization behind Act.io is staffed by former intelligence officers and has a collegial relationship with Israel intelligence community. According to Menda Weiss, an email was sent March 22 to the app's users that announced the app would be shut down, but the users should continue to interact with the Act.io content on its other social media platforms. That used to be the last paragraph. Now it says, the application was relaunched in early 2026, about 4 weeks ago this appeared, under the name Rise App, R-I-S-E capital A-P-P, all one word, with the former Act.il owners partnering with Reichman University for the release and also transferring of the former Act.io user base, 40,000 plus, to the new service. Right? It's how they literally made trolling a video game, a game that they get paid to do. I don't know how the point structure works. I just know it exists. It's in black and white. It's right there. But they come here and, Joe makes it a fucking doofus of himself, but at least he gets attention. And do you think I have Jew gold around my neck too? No, you don't carry it around your neck, you dumbass.
Probably in your mommy's basement.
Right. Which is your basement. If I was really doing this to get points to unlock badges, and how many do you think I would get for being on this channel? Like 1? LOL. Well, I know.
I don't know. Why are you here then?
It must be fucking
Friday night, fucking loser.
Right. It must be something really good for you if you just spend so much time here. Whether it's in the morning or at night, you're here begging for attention. So it must work out. I'm just glad you're dumb enough to participate. If anybody's paying attention, I don't know how many points or how many things he's said so far, but not one of them is, yeah, I'm really against pedophilia. I think we should eliminate it. As Jews, I think we should come together and eliminate these horrible practices amongst our people. Not one thing has been about that. Why don't you tell us about the Maccabees there, Joe? Tell us about Hanukkah and how Hanukkah is a celebration of circumcision of all things. Right? That's how important all this is. You just don't know it because you're a dumb goyim, as you're supposed to be. But they literally force us all to basically partake and or pay for. Here in Detroit, a 30-foot menorah gets raised every year around Hanukkah in downtown. Fed by gas and big fire and shit. It's awful. I don't think Joe's a troll. He just doesn't know. He's an idiot. He's just a fucking idiot. Who knows what he is? But the Maccabee thing is the story of how circumcision had been outlawed, because that when people talk about Jews getting kicked out of 109 countries in the past 1,000 years, they don't ever talk about why. And one of the big reasons they were kicked out is because of their insistence on circumcision, something everybody thought was wrong and gross, especially with the whole mouth part. Along with a lot of the other shit that they do and the way they treat people and stuff, but the circumcision was a big thing. And so, again, this story isn't true, but this is the story behind the narrative. So in the minus 200, 300 somethings, the Seleucid Empire was the big boy, and they had outlawed circumcision. The three examples that they give is that they had made it so Jews had to eat non-kosher products. I don't know how you would enforce that, especially in a time when we're all just farmers and shit, right? They weren't allowed to worship on Saturdays. Again, how would you possibly enforce that? And then they outlawed circumcision, something that you absolutely could enforce because you could just inspect people and see if they're doing it.
Drop trout.
Right. And so they had these altars set up that the people would all have to come and do their sacrifice or whatever the fuck it was. And one day, Johannes Maccabeus was there, and he was like, you know what? I am sick of this bullshit not circumcising. He wasn't mad about the kosher. He wasn't mad about the religious, the worship date. He was mad about the circumcision. So he said to the guy next to him, hey, are you willing to circumcise and join my cause? And the guy was like, no, dude, they leave us alone. Everything's good. They just don't want us circumcising. And Maccabee was like, oh yeah, fuck you, and killed him. And then he also killed the guard that was there. And so he got to circumcising. And he went back home and he circumcised himself. And all of his family. And then, using Godspeed and GPS, God positioning system, because they knew where all the different Jews lived all over the country, they, with their fresh circumcised penises, walked, because horses weren't there yet, right? Horses hadn't been introduced to that part of the world yet. So they had to walk. Or I guess maybe ride camels. I don't know. But they went around the different the different establishments throughout the countryside and told the Jews, hey, listen, you either circumcise yourself and your family and then join our cult, or we kill you. And, they killed a lot of them, but a lot of them, didn't want to get killed, so they joined. And eventually they built up enough of an army that they could try to attack the Seleucids, but they get their ass kicked. And they get their ass kicked, and they get their ass kicked. And they do some subversion shit up at the top where they get one guy to think one thing and another. They poison things from the top. And eventually their guy gets put in and he's like, no, okay, I rescind all the stuff. They can do what they want to do. But that's still not good enough for them. So they go to even more war because they want to have this one spot. And it's a bunch of bullshit. But eventually they get what they want. They get to circumcise. They get some Semitism out of the deal. And that becomes the reason for the celebration of Hanukkah. And none of you know that. None of you have ever heard any Jew tell you that or anything. If you ask them about Hanukkah, they'll be like, oh, it's a crazy story. And that's that. They're not going to tell you about the circumcision aspect of it. How do you circumcise yourself? Well, that's so in the Bible, like I was saying earlier, there's the Noah's bullshit flood story. And now Abraham has like 90 slaves. And apparently he not only does he build God phone, like he builds them consistently. And one day he builds a God phone and God's like, hey, I want to talk to you about something. And Abe's like, what's up? What can I do? How can I help you? What did you want? What do you want to know? What do you want to know? How can I help you? And God's like, first of all, can you stop talking like that? Jesus Christ. But God's like, look, I'm going to make a deal with you. You know how I just flooded the world and killed everybody because I was all mad? And Abraham's like, yeah, I know, that was terrifying. I'm scared. I don't want you to do it again. What can I do? How can I help you? How can I ensure that you don't do it again? That'd be terrible. I'll lose everything. God's like, shut up. But he says, look, I'll make a deal with you. As long as you circumcise yourself and your kin, and then so on, then I'll never destroy the earth again. And my sort of end of the deal will be show if every time you see a rainbow, that's me reminding you that, hey, we're all good. You've been circumcising enough penises. And so Abraham was like, all right. He wasn't upset about it at all. He was like, all right, let me get right to it. Circumcised himself. Then he went to his slaves, you know, all 90 some of them. And he's like, hey, you're never going to believe this. And they're like, oh, fuck. Oh, my God. He's doing the God phone thing again, isn't he? Yeah. All right. Well, what is it this time, Abe? Well, you want to do the butt thing again? And he's like, no. No, that was only a 6-time thing, you know. And God told me he's going to destroy the earth again. And they're like, what? Oh, my God. No, that's terrible. And he's like, no. He would destroy the earth again. I'm sorry, I put it wrong. I said it wrong. I got you upset. I got you excited. I shouldn't have done that. I should have told you the truth. It's not like that. And like 2 hours later, he was finally like, you know, basically, God won't destroy the earth again as long as I just do a little slicey suck on all of you. I just need to slice it and then suck it. Just slice it, suck it, slice it, and suck it. And so, Abe proceeded to circumcise all of his slaves. And he had a bag of foreskins that he carried around with him. And that's what you guys are fucking talking about. That's what it is.
Yet we chastised the Vietnam soldiers for walking around with necklaces of ears.
I mean, these are 18-year-olds that were forced into breaking their fucking brains. You see your friend's head explode 15 times. Guts laying out all over the place. You've been told to go lay waste to a straw hat village and straw huts and shit and use your flamethrowers and, you know, that breaks your fucking brain. You smoke hella. You must have some migraine and you have to be blah, 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 blah. Look at that shit. This is the best you can come up with? Out of everything that's being said, that's what you come up with? Good job, buddy. Thanks for showing what a tattooed Jesus is capable of. Oh, it's so fucking nuts, man. All of it's crazy, and we are so much better than this. And we should be, like, reaching past all of this. We should be doing things differently. And while you're sort of distracted, like the whole Jewish thing's coming up, but it's almost like the war aspect is distracting. And at the end of the day, what's more atrocious? Genocide or incestual pedophilia, right? If everybody knew about their redemption, transcendence, rituals, and all that shit, we wouldn't tolerate it. You can't just keep saying that you're allowed to do the most unbelievable, atrocious things strictly because, you know, the book that you wrote says you should. The funniest thing is, a lot of the stuff they do isn't even like Talmudic law or whatever. Some rabbi, it's rabbinical law, so some rabbi at some point just came up with some shit, and everybody was like, all right, I guess we'll do that from now on. It's all just crazy. And that's only the narrative they give. Whether that's true or not, that's up to you to decide. But personally, I don't believe it. You know, the people that lie to me about everything aren't telling the truth about this. They don't tell you about Tartaria. They don't tell you about the old world. They lie to you about so fucking much. Don't be arrogant. Moldy. Yuck. Yeah, you know, our shitty weed. Like somebody just gave us. Yep, we just smoked the worst of the worst. What if I smoke all of the weed, all of the crack, all the meth, and I snort cocaine and I shoot heroin and I drink alcohol and I smack my wife around all the time and I hit my kids. I hit my kids and I kick my dogs and I'm just this piece of shit. Does that outweigh or have any effect or any sort of anything to do with an entire population of people who do all that shit, but they do it for religious reasons? Or at least that's what they hide behind? The only thing I know is that I don't know. Yeah, but you do know. That's the thing. That's like we got to get past that, you know? The thing that we have to all get past is like, if I were to sit here and go, hey, you guys should watch this other guy. He is so fucking good at what he does. He researches everything, and then he presents it in this really great way that nobody seems to be able to debunk. He's really smart. He's really articulate, and you know, I think he has the right ideas here. Nobody's gonna bat an eyelash at that. They're gonna be like, "Oh, who is that? Let me check it out." But if I say, "Yeah, I'm that guy," then somehow I'm a dick. You know, if Usain Bolt runs faster than everybody else, and after the race he goes, "Listen, while everybody else was out there touching titties and I don't want this, going on dates and going to prom and eating what they wanted to eat and drinking what they wanted to drink and going on spring break, and while you were doing all that cool fun shit, I was running. I was up in the morning, strict diet, training multiple times a day, every day for years and years and years, so that I could get to this point and be the very best in the world. And I want to thank my family who sacrificed as much as anyone else to help me get here. The shit that they had to go through was outrageous. But more than anything, I want to thank myself, because there was plenty of times I wanted to quit. There was plenty of times I just wanted to be a normal person. I wanted to touch some titties. I wanted to eat a brownie and you know, hide from my problems and shit. But I didn't do that. And I stuck with it, and here I am, an Olympic champion. The best. These guys can't fucking touch me. They didn't work as hard as I did. It's one thing to be talented, but hard work beats talent that doesn't work hard every time. And if he said that shit, people would lose their fucking minds. They'd be so mad at him. How dare you say that? How dare you not give all the credit to God?
Glory to God.
Yeah, you're supposed to. First of all, I just want to say, all glory be to God. Without Him, none is possible. And this is, again, think about the arrogance in what you're saying, right? What you're saying is, on this day, you did such an amazing performance. It's not explainable by human effort alone. your hard work, your dedication. That's not it. God was like, eeny, meeny, miny, you. And God did it. God gave you the favor, gave you the extra speed burst. It was, and nothing without God. It's all you. Like, do you understand how stupid and arrogant that shit is? And it's the opposite of what you want it to be. It's for pain. Look, again, whenever somebody starts trying to talk about the shit in the video, instead of talking about what I'm talking about, anything but what I'm talking about, it's because I'm right. They know I'm right, and they can't say anything to the contrary. But they have a job to do. They're getting their points. So, if you want to give them their points, I'm not going to tell you not to. Just know what you're doing. Think about it. Like, I've maybe addressed that doofus 6 times in the last year plus. And yet he still just comes back every day, every video, every time. Commenting more than most. I didn't say anyone's name. Okay, you do whatever you want to do, man. Again, I don't, it just is what it is. I'm not even necessarily telling you. It's all the other people who might be debating on whether they should comment or not. People forget. This isn't something you see very often. Or at least it's not something that you realize you see. Nobody else is breaking this story like I am, and it's kind of shocking. Because this explains so much, right? So many people, if you have one of those feeds where it almost doesn't make, where the fuck are all these people even coming from? And why are they so angry at me for saying we need to kill pedophiles? Obviously, it's a not just a troll farm like you're shown with Asians. Every time you're shown a troll farm, it's Asians doing it. It's so much deeper than that. And, this is a real big smoking gun piece of the puzzle. That why isn't Ian Carroll? Why isn't Stu Peters? Why isn't Candace? Why isn't anybody else talking about this? The 2 things you can attribute to me, well, 3 things actually, are Team Jorge, Act.il, and the Bottom of Darkness shit. Nobody else is talking about those things. At least nobody I've seen. There might be some other guy like me who's got a, censored to bejesus channel, but none of the main guys talk about this stuff. And I'd love to ask them why. How many different videos can you make about BlackRock when this is affecting our everyday lives? This is affecting our everyday efforts. BlackRock, we have to get to BlackRock level. Anyway, I'm done. I'm going to go. I'm exhausted. I don't even know why I did this. I just had something to get off my chesticles, I guess. Go check out the government agent getting 7 views is ignorance at its finest. BlackRock has money and everything. They basically pull all the strings through money. Yeah, but BlackRock is just a cover for Judaism. It's all Judaism, man. It's all Semitism. It's all policy and predisposition favorable to Jews. And I don't know how you don't see it any other, or how you can see it any other way, right? All those other things are just symptoms. They're pieces of the puzzle. But the puzzle, at the end of it, it's just Jews. It's just Judaism itself as a whole. And maybe there is some sweet lady who makes really good cookies. Yeah, fuck her. I don't care. She chooses to ignore a lot of shit in order. If she's old, she knows a lot of this firsthand. Right? Yes, the corporate cover. I appreciate you too, Matt. I really like your comment earlier about the confidence that you get or you have now. It really did affect me. Like that's what this is supposed to do. It's supposed to give people that confidence that most of us have never even had. because you see something's wrong, but you can't actually explain it. And I believe if you just download my 99-cent manual, it will tell you everything you need to know on how to do it. No, but seriously, the links in the description are a step-by-step process for you to be able to make this argument in any court of law. I can't understand how much it helps. Truth indeed sets you free. It does. It does. And the truth has never been in religion, and now you see that difference. What you might have thought you found in the past, it's nothing compared to it. You know? Religion is fuel, and truth is rocket fuel. It's a huge difference. Look, you guys, again, I've literally told Joe now how many times, dude, why don't you say something about the pedophilia in your organization? And he just never does. Only a pedophile is that protective and blind to it. He's proving my point for me, and I appreciate it. You guys have to understand how important this is and how dumb these fucking idiots are. And we shouldn't be losing. We shouldn't be secondary to such awful situation. I've told you time and time again that you are a liar. Well, that answers things, doesn't it? Like, you see how I call you a pedo, and then I explain how you're a pedo? The fact that you don't even deny being a pedo, let alone the protection of all things pedo, and I provide you with examples, and I prove the point to the point where other people in the feed, in the chat, see the same shit and are laughing at you and pointing it out, just like we always do with you pieces of shit, right? You see how that works? That's called addressing things. If I just said Joe's a pedo and then I was like, trust me, nobody believed me. It's the evidence provided. And so the fact that you can't even pick one specific thing, but you say this, I say it all the time. Oh, I'm sorry. I say it all the time. You never say shit. You say that shit all the time. You don't know me. You don't know how my childhood was. Yeah, no, I cannot imagine how horrific your childhood was. And prove nothing. Can't be a liar if there's no proof. The only liars are the ones detracting from the point. All right, well, again, Joe's childhood is something I wouldn't wish upon anybody. As a matter of fact, I'm the loudest voice I know trying to stand up for this, trying to stand up against, somebody has to stand up for the Jewish children. The Jews aren't doing it. So I've been the loudest voice I know, and my loudest critics are guys like Joe, who is a Jew and doesn't actually agree that we should save Jewish children. He knows firsthand what they've been through. He knows the ritual rape. He knows the binding of Isaac. Once he became an adult at 13, he was forced to transcend his sins, all the sins that he picked up through childhood. He didn't want to walk around with a body full of sin like that, so he just put it on another child by doing the same thing. He got his redemption through the transcendence rituals. Bottom of darkness bullshit. The binding of Isaac, the soul correction. Joe knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. He's just not denying it because what can he say? What could he possibly say? Yep, looks like Joe's an idiot. Yeah, it does. He's an idiot. See, it's weird because it's like you're almost victim blaming at this point. He is a victim, but because he's an adult, it's hard to feel sorry for him. Although he can't possibly have a normal, sympathetic, rational outlook because of what he was put through as a child. It's like this weird sickness thing, right? Like, That's why you can't just say because they're all friars, we just get rid of them. We have to give them the opportunity to walk away from that, get the healing they deserve. But if they don't want that shit, well, then they become the enemy. Okay? Joe just admitted it. You don't know me. You don't know what I went through in my childhood. That's something only somebody fucking really mad says. Of course he gets paid. What else would he do this for? Of course he gets paid. He's here more than anyone else. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. I don't even know what to do. Like, you know, Joe is guilty, right? He is guilty of some of the worst crimes possible. But he's guilty because that's what he was taught to do and forced to do. He was forced to do it to another child. It's all part of the ritual process. And, you know, he's 13. He might be a man, but he's 13, 14. He's still scared of all the big, scary adults that did this to him. And they say, do this to get rid of your sins. You're a dirty sinner. You know, you have all the sins from all the people that you allowed to use you like that. You got to get rid of that. And it's really awful. It's really awful. I feel bad for Joe in a way, but I can't at the same time because of his lack of humility, because of his lack of honor and his lack of compassion. I don't feel bad for him. I just want him gone. I want to put them all in the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, which is a beautiful area. There's no punishment there. The Jewish Autonomous Oblast is like 3 times the size of Israel, and it's beautiful. And there's nobody on either side that hates them for no reason whatsoever. Like those damn dirty Muslims. But let's take them all to the Jewish Autonomous Oblast, and let's see how they fare on their own without, they don't need us. We're just Goyim. And we'll see how well they do. I wish it was one of those situations where you knew they wanted to make things better. Where you knew they were like, yeah, let's fix this shit. Let's make everybody's lives better, and we're all equal and no one is special, but they like thrive on that. It's like cops with ID, right? They need to have that superiority. Anyway, you guys have yourselves a great night. I'm done. See ya. Pedophiles, kill yourself. All this stuff is in the description. Go get it.